Game, what are you doing, game? Which TV, by the way? If you're here to learn what makes a good Battle Royale player, welcome to the video, as I will be discussing just that. This is more of my opinion combined with many other Diamond and Apex Predator players, but it doesn't make me or them the best players in the world, as there are obviously people better than us. These people are also just putting in much more hours and grinding day and night in these tournaments and leagues online, which I want to be part of so badly, but I have to give them major props for doing so. With that being said, I would like to share my ideology on the 2 traits that make a good player and a good teammate, along with how you should focus on your stats to track your improvement. This is less about the obvious physical mechanics like movement, peeking, aiming, and more, which I've discussed in previous videos, which you should totally check out, cards on screen right now, but more about the insubstantial decision-making process of a good player. Firstly, you should always prioritize your life. In any Battle Royale game that you play, in order to win, you have to be alive to do so, or you have to have teammates to carry your ass to the top. This one is obvious, but the concept of prioritizing you and your team's lives is probably the most important of all. This falls into line for most top Battle Royale and FPS players, but what exactly does it mean? Prioritizing life is about making decisions that keep you or your teammates alive. I'll be using Apex Legends for my examples in the video, but this concurs for most games. Here are a few situations to get an understanding of this. Should you chase an enemy into a building when you both are low on HP? Should you ignore an enemy chasing your low HP teammate in order to secure a kill on a different enemy? Or should you get the last shot that might knock down an enemy? Or should you run behind cover and just heal up instead? The answer to these questions is the less risky option in most cases. Every fight is about optimizing your economy over your enemy. It is really a real-time strategy game happening, but over a course of 15-second gunfight rather than a 30-minute game. Does your enemy have shields? Is he reloading? Is he separated from his teammates? Each engagement should be an instinctive calculation of these questions to help you make the right decisions. Even though the normal answer would be the less risky option, in some situations the answer is the exact opposite of that. For the first question on if you should chase an enemy into a building when both of you are low on HP, this will most probably be a no. That is, unless you know the enemy is reloading alone out of ammo, or you have some other type of advantage that outweighs the risk chasing the enemy, like high ground or a teammate to help you push. Chasing kills in a game is a big no-no, as that time wasted chasing an enemy who is no longer a threat could be used to help your teammates with other enemies in the middle of a fight. For the second question on if you should ignore an enemy chasing your low HP teammate in order to secure a kill on a different enemy, this will be a no, of course, unless you don't have to chase them and can easily transition to helping your team. For the final question on if you should get the last shot that might knock down an enemy or just run behind cover and heal up, you shouldn't chase them unless you're 100% certain you will get the knockdown without risking your life from their teammates shooting at you or the life of your teammates that might need help. Everything isn't black and white, and they never will be. Decision making falls under the umbrella of a game sense that some people just have, don't, or are in the process of learning. It comes with experience, and experience comes with time and patience. The ultimatum I am trying to come across here is that you should prioritize life in all of your decision making skills. This does not mean you shouldn't always avoid chasing and killing enemies, either as a dead enemy is no longer a threat, but in the situations where shit is raining down like hell and kills or knockdowns aren't guaranteed, stay alive, get to cover, heal up, reposition, and help your teammates to do the same. You can always recover the tags or re-engage when the fight is more in your favor, but once you're knocked, you are simply just useless and immediately put your team at a disadvantage. The next thing to do is prioritize damage. The second most important thing to do in the decision-making hierarchy is prioritizing damage. Just like you have an instinctive form to deal with 1v1s, in a larger team battle, damage output is the most important thing. And on top of that is focus damage. Team fights are about getting an advantage and quickly capitalizing on it, and the only advantage you should care about is over a health pool of your team versus the enemies. With this one example situation, I'll have more to elaborate on the point I am trying to force down your unwilling little throats. Imagine you get into a team fight and you get the jump on an enemy. You land some very good damage on the enemy before he realizes what is happening, and he immediately runs to cover. Instead of worrying about him getting away, shoot at his teammates who are equally unaware and standing in the open. This can all be within the first 3 to 5 seconds of a fight. It makes sense to go for the enemies who haven't responded to the situation or are still in the open rather than trying to hit shots on a fleeing enemy, which is harder and is time being wasted. While it is possible you may knock down the fleeing enemy, you can almost guarantee to inflict more damage on others and give your team a massive health advantage to be aggressive and finish the fight. Focusing damage may be a little annoying as you may deal most of it to an enemy, then your teammate comes in to steal the kill, but that's okay as damage is more important than kills. I've had countless games where I've had 2500 plus damage dealt and only 5 kills, and a teammate would have 10 with not even 1000 damage. It's called teamwork, and you can kill someone faster with 2 people shooting at them rather than just 1. In a perfect world, if everyone on the team had god aim and the enemy was completely horrible at the game, you could all pick one person and kill them in a single magazine, but that is never going to be the case. Of course, there are always exceptions. If you can for sure 100% knock someone, you should always do just that, as having an extra man is a greater advantage than the other team having a health advantage. But for a majority of situations, you can't accumulate the damage in a single take, actively switch targets, and put the other team on the defensive. So how can you tell you are getting better? Well, firstly, there is plenty of reason not to overly focus on your statistics of the game, but it isn't good to pretend that they aren't important because they're there for a reason. I believe that focusing on your ADR, or average damage per round or game, and your win rate is the most important stats to consider. Many players discredit better players due to RNG or because they don't have a chance to play with a pre-made team, which is sometimes true, but having a mindset like this will only set you back. Good players overcome RNG over the mass of many games. Better players have higher ADRs, get more kills, and win more games because they prioritize staying alive and doing damage. A better player will do this despite the RNG elements of Battle Royale games. Although you shouldn't be mainly focused on your stats constantly worrying of what they are and where you're at, you should do your best to occasionally check these two stats to see if they are improving. You might be able to achieve wins by hiding all game and barely looting and catching the final team very off guard, but that will never help you win against better teams and better players when confronted by them or even a simple basic skilled team. This is because you don't learn how to deal damage properly, and if you recall, this all comes with experience, and that comes with patience and time. There are of course more traits to being a good player than these two stats, like different playstyles, different roles, and that shouldn't be taken for granted, as team synergy also plays a huge part in how well you can pump out insane amounts of damage and stay alive. In summary, what you should take from this video is to always consider who has the advantage, and if you are at a disadvantage, know how to get out of it and turn the fight into your favor. Rely on these traits for what to prioritize at that moment. Over time, you will develop your own variations, and the process should become as second nature as aiming, movement, and looting. And one more thing. Living is greater than damage, and damage is greater than kills. So don't worry when a teammate steals a kill. It is normal and will happen more often than not, but getting the win at the end of the day is more important than the amount of kills someone on your team has. Did you learn something today, come to an understanding on a tactic, or help refresh your playstyle, or are still utterly confused or in need of help? Please tell me, as I will assist anyone who has questions or concerns in the comments down below. With that being said, I would like to thank you all for watching the video. To drop a like, and of course if you are new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for more videos just like this, because I've been Stink Gamer. I'll see you all next time. Peace!